Good evening. Welcome back to Music Minute at Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministries here, and we're glad that you've joined us this evening as we take a look at the hymns for tomorrow's online worship. We're going to start a little bit out of order today, so we're going to start with the hymn of the day tomorrow, which is When We Are Living, or Pues Si Vivimos, for those Spanish speakers among us. This tune and text actually comes to us from our Methodist friends. And the story goes that after a meeting at a church in Los Angeles in 1980, a woman at the conference saw another woman standing off to the side. So she went and engaged in conversation with this woman and found out that she was from Mexico. And so they got to talking, and there were several songs that this woman liked to sing, and so she sang several of them, and the other woman recorded them. At the same time, they were working on a hymnal supplement for the United Methodist Church, and she took this particular recording to the committee that was working on that, and they loved it, made some translations, added some verses, and it became part of their hymnal supplement back in the early 80s. So that's kind of exciting. The text is based on Romans 14, where Paul says we do not live or die to ourselves, but to the Lord. And that is the basis of the entire hymn. We assume, although we don't know for 100% sure, that this is a tune based on a traditional Spanish folk tune or melody. So this is a piano arrangement of it, and no maracas or castanets or any other rhythm instruments today. We're just going to use the piano rhythm. We belong to God. What a great way to start off. Our next tune will be Day by Day. That is actually our sending hymn on online worship tomorrow. And this tune has a fantastic history that I did not realize. And maybe it's just legend or myth, but the story goes that it actually first appeared as an illustration to a story written for a calendar which the text writer had written and edited. So the story goes something like this. A clock decided to stop, and the dial decided to find out why the clock stopped. What the dial discovered was that the pendulum was bored and was tired of swinging back and forth some 86,400 times per day. The dial said, well, then just swing 6 times. The pendulum thought, well, that might be all right. I can do that. So it then said it wasn't really the 6 times that was the problem, or the 60 times, but it was the thought of the 6 million times throughout the lifetime of the pendulum that it would have to go back and forth that was just overly frightening and disturbed it. So the dial responded that while the pendulum could in a single moment think of those 6 million swings that it had to do, at any given time, only one swing had to happen at that given moment. The author concluded the story with saying, quote, "It is foolish to put future burdens upon each present moment. We are only given a day at a time, and for each new day, new grace, new strength, and new help." The text of the song followed. The tune was written for the text, although the composer did suggest to the author of the text that she needed to lengthen each line of the text by one syllable in order to have a, quote, "softer and more natural rhythm." So she thought about it, and she complied with that and added that one syllable. The result is what you have in the hymn that we'll sing tomorrow. This is a piano version of this as well. Beautiful harmonies that are throughout this, and I think you'll recognize it, of course. We've sung it many, many times, day by day. Just a very relaxing piece, and you probably couldn't hear it, but outside the window behind me, the large stained glass here, is a very loud bird who has been chirping the entire time I was playing that and not in the same key that I was playing. So it was rather annoying. Anyway, we'll go over to the organ now. And we're going to end with the big hymn, the granddaddy, as they would say. This is Praise to the Lord the Almighty. This will be our gathering hymn for online worship tomorrow. And this is based on the Psalms again. You've heard that several times over the past many weeks. This time it's the first 6 verses of Psalm 103 and then the entirety of Psalm 150 that lends to this text. Congregations tend to sing it with great vigor. You'll recognize that as you hear the tune, I'm sure. Personal note of importance for this particular hymn for me is that it was the gathering hymn at our wedding some 27 years ago nearly, and so it holds some special importance. And the tune is actually of anonymous origin. It has been through several iterations over time, and there is some suggestion that the tune had secular origins, which is not uncommon. That frequently happened. Tonight, you're going to hear a fantasy on the tune, and it goes from a gentle dance opening to a more ethereal sort of center section to the driving rhythms and the exciting and bombastic conclusion of this. I think you'll enjoy the treatment of Praise to the Lord the Almighty. I need help from my trusty assistant on this one. keeps ringing in this empty room, which I can't wait till the day we can fill it up again. So thank you for joining us tonight. Hope that you enjoyed that. If you're joining us tomorrow, in-person worship is at 10 o'clock. Please make sure you sign up before you come. And online worship will be on here at Facebook and YouTube channels at 10:30. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.